It would be wonderful if life never tempted us. If we could go from one day to the next improvising and always doing the right thing, but the world is not like that. In the end, we end up making mistakes or taking actions that we regret later. Stoicism, in theory, is a philosophy. In practice, it's a set of rules for living. The Stoics believed that life was complicated and full of situations that would test us. So, they created rules to keep us on the right path. In this video, I will talk about 11 historical rules that I've established for myself to become the best version of myself. These 11 rules were created by historical philosophers over 2,000 years ago and have helped many people throughout history. So, I invite you to stay until the end to learn all the rules and apply them to your life. Before we start, I would appreciate it if you liked the video to help me continue spreading this philosophy. If you're not subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell to not miss any videos. Rule 1. Conquer your mornings. One of the best moments from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is the conversation he has with himself at the beginning of Book 5. He knows he needs to get out of bed, but he wants to stay under the warm covers. It's easy to understand, but also impressive. Marcus Aurelius didn't need to get out of bed. He wasn't truly obligated to do anything. Many emperors before him delegated government tasks to focus solely on living a life surrounded by luxury. However, Marcus Aurelius forced himself not to succumb to these temptations and to take care of his tasks early in the morning. Because Marcus Aurelius knew that conquering tomorrow was the key to conquering the day and succeeding in life. Personally, I follow these 3 actions to have a productive morning. First, I write in a journal when I wake up. I jot down the things I need to do during the day and write a short reflection on the previous day, noting what I did well and what I did poorly to become aware of what I need to improve. Writing in the journal allows me to establish a habit every morning and reflect on my life. It reminds me of what I need to do and how I need to act. Second, I engage in sports. It doesn't need to be with high intensity. The important thing is to move. I go for a walk, go to the gym, run, whatever you prefer, as long as you're active. This will wake you up and prepare your mind for the third action, focusing on work. Once I've completed the first 2 actions, I'm ready to concentrate on the task at hand. Rule 2. Focus on what's within your control. Stoics emphasize focusing on things we can control and forgetting about things we can't control. Understanding this makes you practical, and you'll waste less time worrying about things that aren't worth it. Once you understand this, you'll avoid many frustrations and situations of suffering, and you'll know what's worth focusing on to achieve the goals you've set for yourself. A clear example of this is in sports. You control how you play, but you don't control whether you win, if the opponent is respectful, or if the audience cheers for you. When you realize this and start focusing on your own game instead of others, you'll likely perform better. Apply the same principle to all situations in your life. Rule 3. Don't suffer from imaginary problems. Situations of uncertainty in life generate thoughts that make us suffer. This is entirely normal, but if we think about it, most of the negative situations we imagine may never actually occur. In the words of Seneca, we fear more than what actually hurts us, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Try to focus on the present and stay calm. It's likely that the bad thing you imagine might happen won't actually happen in the end. Rule 4. Treat success and failure the same way. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting metaphor. He said that all men are like a stone he throws up into the air. He said the stone doesn't gain anything by going up nor lose anything by coming down. It remains the same stone it was. Whether your day starts with a promotion or ends with a firing, you are still the same person. In fact, negative situations in life usually teach us many things, making them even more useful than positive situations. Be grateful for everything that happens to you, whether good or bad, because whatever happens, you're still the same person and will be able to learn from any situation. Rule 5. Do only one thing per day. This rule shouldn't be taken literally. When saying do only one thing per day, it means two things. First, for people with 100 goals, it's important to focus on one goal to achieve each day, no matter how small. Living without goals turns a potentially extraordinary life into an average one. Second, for people with many goals, having big ambitions isn't bad, but it's important to focus on taking one step at a time. Focusing on too many things at once can make you lose sight of what really matters. Rule 6. Don't seek the easy path. Whenever you want to achieve something, remember that there is no easy way to achieve it. In life, things that are worth it are achieved through effort. Think about anyone you consider successful and read their biography. You'll see that everything they've achieved was through hard work and discipline. This is the key to becoming successful. Difficult paths build your character, make you learn from your mistakes, and encourage perseverance. The difference between those who achieve great goals and those who don't lies in their tolerance for effort and sacrifice. Rule 7. Ask yourself if it's necessary. Take a moment to reflect on the things you do in life and ask yourself, is what I'm doing necessary? You'll realize how many things we do and want in our lives that are completely dispensable. How much time do we waste on things that truly bring us nothing? How can we know if what we're doing is necessary? Ask yourself why you do the things you do. Find a valuable reason, something worthwhile. If you can't find that valuable reason, is what you're doing necessary in your life? Rule 8. Love your fate. Things don't always go as we want, that's a fact of life. As Seneca said, fortune acts as she pleases. His own life was proof of this. Health problems interrupted his political career, and the emperor exiled him. He managed to return only to have the same thing happen again. Most of it was beyond Seneca's control. The only part he could control was how he chose to view these events, what he chose to do with them. He chose to view these events positively. Life will subject you to good and bad situations. It's up to you how you choose to deal with them. Whether you search for the positive aspects of what happens or live in constant regret. Rule 9. Converse with death. The founder of Stoicism, Zeno of Citium, visited the oracle after losing all his wealth to find inspiration for his future. The oracle told him that to live a good life, he needed to converse with the dead. The oracle referred to reading. He urged him to read the books of philosophers who had lived before him. Reading is an incredible tool. It gives you the ability to read the thoughts and opinions of people who lived thousands of years ago. We live in a world where we're always seeking new things, which makes us forget the old. There's nothing wrong with the new things emerging, but we shouldn't forget the wealth of vital knowledge written in books. We have the power to converse with the greatest minds of the past, who, with their experience, can guide us and help us in our lives. The worst part is that millions of people in the world choose to reject this superpower. Take advantage of it. It has never been easier to access so much ancient knowledge as it is now, thanks to the internet. Rule 10. Be strict with yourself and forgiving of others. It's important to remember that the Stoics have strict rules and strong opinions about what is right and wrong. But we should be understanding and forgiving toward those who have deviated from the truth. The key is that your standards are for you. This doesn't mean we allow people to act unjustly or maliciously, but we also don't need to judge everyone who doesn't behave exactly as we want. In this case, the best we can do is set an example. If you want to show someone they're acting wrongly, make an effort to act rightly and show it. This is the best way to impact someone and change their mindset. It might take some time, but sooner or later they'll start imitating you. Rule 11. Remember that you die every day. In Seneca's words, this is our great mistake, thinking that we look forward to death. In reality, most of death has already passed. All the time that has passed belongs to death. It's easy to see death as something distant, as an event that will happen to us at some point in life. Something stationary, regardless of the date it will occur. But in truth, every day we draw closer to it, faster or slower depending on our age and health. Seneca considered this a wrong view of death, a mistaken view that leads to many bad habits and a poor life. On the contrary, he said that death is a process that is happening to us right now. We die every day. Even as you watch this video, time is passing, and you'll never get it back. This time belongs to death. Death isn't distant, it's with us right now. The second hand of the clock is the sunset. As the arrow of time moves, death continues to claim every moment that has passed. What should we do about this? The answer is to live. Live while we can. Don't procrastinate, don't leave anything unfinished. Make the most of your time while it's still yours. What did you think of these historical rules? Would you add any others? I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion in the comments. Personally, I try to apply these rules to my life. It's not easy, and often we forget. I try to write them down somewhere to remind myself. Stoicism isn't an easy path. Just like life, it requires a lot of effort and discipline, but it's worth it. Until next time.